Hello everyone and welcome back. At this point in the course we have already refactored a large part of our application in order to use a store solution, and we are starting to see some of the benefits in terms of a reduced number of requests that is hitting our server. Let's continue refactoring features one by one, and the next feature that we are going to be changing to a store solution is going to be the edit course feature. And here is where we are going to start to see the store architecture to shine. We're going to be able to immediately update our UI, and like we saw in the initial example of this course, we are going to be able to swap here the category of the course and have it immediately change tabs and also update the counter without any specific extra logic for handling this type of edge cases. Let's start by defining the actions that our feature is going to need. So we are going to create here a course saved action that is going to get triggered whenever we hit here the save button. Let's fill in the string that will show up on the action log. Let's fill in the source of the action, which is going to be the edit course dialog. After the source of the action, we are going to specify the event linked to the action. With the action type defined, we now need to define the action class for course saved. And again, I'm going to paste it in here. It's a very simple implementation. We're going to review it together. So as you can see, this is the course saved action. It's a normal NGRX action. It has the type course saved as expected, but it has a payload that is a little bit different than usual. So the payload is going to contain an object with a property called course, which is of type update course. This is a new RxJS specific type that is going to contain all the information needed to update a given entity in memory. So we are going to be able to identify via this type the ID of the entity and the properties that have changed. We're going to see how to use this update type in a moment. Right now we're going to go ahead and add here our course saved action to the course actions union type. Let's now see how the course saved action is going to be used. Notice the name of the action, course saved. This means that the course has already been saved in the database by the course dialog component. So this action is meant to be dispatched after doing here a call to the backend and making sure the call was successful. As we have seen earlier in the course, this call to save course is already working and hitting the server as expected, so we can now focus on the NGRX specific part of this implementation. What we want to do here is, after a successful course save, we are going to send to the centralized store the information about the changes that we made. And the way to do that is to use the store to dispatch a course saved action. We are going to instantiate here an object of type course saved, and we need to pass it here a payload. So this course property here needs to be filled in with an object of type update course. Let's have a look at what that looks like. Let's create here a local variable that is going to be of type update course and see how can we fill it in. So the first thing that we need to fill in is the ID of the course that we want to update. And we have it here locally. It's the variable course ID. Next, we need to specify what properties have changed. And for that, we have here a changes property, which is of type partial course. Partial is a type that comes bundled in with the TypeScript compiler that allows us to define an object with only a few properties of course. This way we have still type safety with partial objects that might have less than all the mandatory properties of course. So we're going to go ahead and specify here our changes. So in this object we would be filling in the changes that we made to the course object. So for example, we might have changed its description. So we can fill it in the following way. We can take the description here from the form. We have here a form in the edit course dialog that will contain the description that was edited. So we can do something like this.form.value, which is the object containing all the current values in the form, and we would do .description in order to access the latest value of the description. We could do so for other properties that we have here, such as, for example, the category, the long description, or the promotion flag. We could fill in these properties one by one, but we can also take an object with all the changes that is already available here. So this reference here, changes, is already a reference to the form value object, so it contains all the changes that we want to save in the backend. So we can fill in here the changes object directly, and we can even further simplify this like this by removing the duplication between the name of the property and the variable that we are assigning it. Now we have here the course object. We are going to go ahead and pass it here as the course saved payload. We can even further simplify this by removing here the reference to the course variable, as it has the same name of the property that we are passing here. So with this we have created and dispatched our course saved action, so the only thing that we need to do now is to add the reducer logic for this action. We need to update the store with the result of modifying the course. Let's then implement the reducer logic here for the course saved action. We are going to switch here to the course reducers file, and let's add here a new case clause. So we want to cover the case when the course was saved. In this case, what we want to do is to use the adapter as usual to update a particular entity in the store. So for that we have here several update methods that the adapter makes available to us. We can do update one if we already know that the entity is for sure present inside the store. We can also do upsert one. This is going to update the entity if it already exists, and if it does not exist yet, it's then going to create a new entity. So very useful methods that we have here available via the adapter. In this case, we are going to be using the update one method. Let's go ahead and pass it in its first argument the update course payload, and the second argument is going to be the current state of the store. And with this we have implemented our reducer logic. Let's now see the course saved feature in action. And this time around we are going to start seeing some of the main benefits of the store solution. Let's then go ahead and switch here to a larger window, and let's load here the courses screen. So if we open here our development tools, we are going to see that the store is already populated with the courses like before. Now have a look at what happens if we edit a current course, and let's say that, for example, we change its title, we change the category, let's say, to advanced, and we turn off the promotion flag. So what this is going to do is, when we click save, we are going to dispatch an action to the store. It's going to update this course, and the value is going to be broadcasted to any components that need this information. If we click save, here is what happened. We can see here that the course that we edited, the NGRX course, is no longer present here in the beginners tab. It has been automatically switched to the advanced tab. Also, the promotion counter has been updated automatically. So as you can see, the course has been switched between tabs, and we did not have to write any edge case logic that handles this case specifically. Everything is generic. We simply update the store broadcasts the new version of the state to any subscribed components. The components update themselves transparently without knowing what triggered the change. So if we edit again the course, let's change here the value simply, for example, to NGRX. We are going to switch again this to a beginner course. We turn on the promotion flag. If we hit save, again the promotion counter is updated and the course has been switched back to the beginners tab. At this point in the course, we are really starting to see some of the main benefits of the store architecture. In this case, we have here a UI with multiple representations of the data, the counter and the courses list. And whenever we edit that data in memory, the UI immediately updates itself transparently without having to contact the server again to recalculate a view model.